Hi, my name is Heidi Scheunemann. I'm a football coach in Indonesia right now, and in the last 20 years, I invested a lot of my time to help girls to thrive in football, and a lot of girls to help how they can improve their skills and their character, strengthen their character, so they can make it into the national team. Today, I want to share with you some ideas about what you can do if you want to start a football academy for girls. So some thoughts which you have to keep in mind to make your football academy for girls successful. So first of all, it's very important that you have a clear vision and that your heart is really into this, so that you are a really passionate person who wants to improve these girls' talents and help them to thrive in their life. Besides a clear vision, what you want to achieve, you have to have a clear target group. So what age group, for example? Or do you want to just have an academy for girls so they can play? Or do you really want to help them become professional players, or that they will later play in the national team? Because there will be different approaches if you have different target groups, for sure. The second point you have to keep in mind is, do you have qualified human resources? Which means, are you the right person to run the football academy? Or do you have people who are the right people to run this academy? Do you have enough staff? I will share some thoughts about that with you. Is your staff qualified to handle girls in a specific age group you have your target group in? The third point you have to keep in mind is, do you have a supportive environment? Because you will not be able to run this academy all by yourself with even some friends who are also passionate about it. You need to have a supportive environment. I will share more thoughts about that in a moment. The fourth point you have to keep in mind is, what kind of long-term strategy do you have? Don't start something if you can't go on with it. So it's not enough to just start an academy and then hope that it's going to go on for the next 10 years. You have to have a strategy, how you will start, with whom you will start, where you will start, who's going to get involved, and who's committed to sponsor this school, this academy for a long term. So now I want to get into a little bit detail about the specific questions. So the first point you think about is, do you have a clear vision? Do you have a clear target group? So what is your intention? And whom do you want to coach in this academy? So best thing is if you have a clear mission statement. You make clear what aims you have, what hopes will you have, what dreams you have. Who is going to benefit from the football academy in the first place, and who's going to benefit from it later? So which age group is your target group? Is it like 12 to 16? That would be the girls I would aim for if you want to have a long-term program. Why do you want to start a football academy in the first place? What is the aim behind your passion? What is it? What makes you feel passionate about these girls? Make sure which kind of target group you have, the age of these girls. Where do they come from? Is this an academy for girls who come from broken homes, from difficult backgrounds? Is this for orphans, for slum kids maybe, in a country where there are lots of girls who have talents but nobody cares about them? Who's going to benefit from this football academy? Is it a club? Will these kids play in a professional club afterwards? Will they have a chance to get into the national team? Third point is, when will you start and what is your long-term plan? Have a time frame. Are you committed to go on with this for a long time? Make up your mind, write down your aims, set a time frame for your commitment. How long will you be committed? And check out with everybody who's involved, how long will they be committed? So the fourth point is, how are you going to run the academy? You need to have a clear strategy. For sure, often your strategy will have to be flexible, because we never know what's going to happen the next year. So you have to be flexible. But anyway, you have to have a clear strategy. You have to have a clear plan. What do you want to achieve and how are you going to achieve it? To make sure if your plan is realistic, it's best to ask your friends. Ask the friends who know about football, who know about the culture you live in, who know about the system you live in, and who have some ideas about all the problems which can come up. So is your vision realistic? So the second point we talk about is, do you have qualified human resources? First of all, are you qualified to run a football academy? If not, you need to find the people who will run this academy successfully. You have to find passionate leaders who share the same vision, the same values with you, and who are ready for this adventure. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough. There will be struggles. Are you ready? Second, figure out the formal qualifications for your staff members. Whoever is going to get involved in your academy cannot just be picked from the street. You have to have a clear idea of what qualifications they have to have so that they would fit in your strategy plan. Create a character profile for long-term staff. So make sure what values, what characteristics are important for you. Does this have to be kind of patient, passionate, flexible people? Do they have to have a high level of responsibility? Are there other characteristics? Do they have to be specifically brave? You have to write down, what do you expect from your staff members so they will be able to give a positive impact for these girls in the academy. Fourth point would be, think about how to implement a fair salary system. You cannot hope that everybody's going to work for free in your academy. You have to set up a fair system, how you're going to pay the staff who's working in the academy. Make sure this is clear from the beginning so that you will not have surprises afterwards. The fifth point would be, think about who will take care of emotional, mental, and physical needs of the girls and who will be responsible for their school education. So for sure, we want to make sure that these kids get the best possible school education. That does not necessarily mean that they have to have a formal school education. If these are orphans or they come from slums or from very difficult family backgrounds, sometimes it's really helpful for them if they get the right life skills to be able to get a job afterwards. But for sure, we will give our best to help these kids to get a good school education. But homeschool is also a possible option. Do the people you have in mind to be staff in the academy are able to care for the emotional and mental needs of these kids? They might have traumatic experience. Are these people, is your staff available, emotionally open to help these kids to deal with their emotional problems? So the sixth point would be, which I mentioned earlier a little bit, is which life skills make most sense to be coached in your academy. So make sure you help them to get the life skills so they will be able maybe to run small businesses. They have to be able to get a good job afterwards. So in the area where you want to run this academy, what kind of jobs can these girls get afterwards? So prepare them for these job opportunities. The kids have all talents, not just on the soccer pitch, they have also talents in other areas. We have to find out, to figure out what kind of talents they have and have to help them to improve these areas of their expertise in the best possible way. So we have to be flexible, we have to be patient with them, but we have to also figure out what field of profession they will be able to work in best and what do they want. So the 7th point is here, which is about the human resources. Where do you find qualified, motivated, passionate, and committed football coaches? So they will not be just running around in the area. You have to set up a network to find as many coaches as possible, to get to know them, to figure out who has the same vision as you have, who has the same aims, who do you connect with well. Because you will have a lot of team meetings in your academy, and you better have people around who trust each other. That's very important from the very beginning. You need to have honest, trustworthy people in your team. And you need to find coaches who give their best to help these kids to thrive. And you don't need coaches who want themselves to be in the middle of attention. You want coaches whose aim is it to bring the best out of these girls in the future or even in the present. So you better make a checklist and make sure you have the right people available. The third point we talk about is you have to check if you have a supportive environment. What does that mean? Are there many motivated female football talents in your area or in your target age group? That would mean you have potential. You have potential for success if there are a lot of girls who have talent, who have natural talent, and who love to play football. It does not help you if you have a lot of soccer players or football players who have great skills but who are totally lazy and never like to go to practice. So you really have to make sure you have motivated girls who really want to play football. You can help them to get motivated, but if they don't have intrinsic motivation from themselves, it's gonna be a very difficult process. So you better make sure you start your academy where there is a need for academy. That means there must be a lot of motivated, talented girls in your area, and that would make sense to start a football academy for girls. Second point is who is going to finance needed facilities, equipment, and who's going to pay for running costs. So you need to have a commitment of long-term sponsors, of a sponsorship, like of people who care about this academy. You have to make sure that you have people who are passionate about this football academy and who you can trust that they will not stop their sponsorship if the girls maybe lose some matches or if something goes wrong. You need to have people who you can trust that they are keeping their promises and that they are committed. Third point is there a football league system in place where the academy team can participate in? So make sure there is a village football league or a professional football league, that these girls, if they have the talent and the character to be able to play in the national team, make sure you know where the national team is going to be, where they practice, how to get in touch with officials. Is there even a chance to get these girls in a selection process so they can make it into the national team? It does not help you at all if you just have an academy in a village somewhere and nobody knows about you. You have to start promoting your players. The fourth point is who else is supporting the Girls Football Academy vision? Is the management of your football club interested in long-term investment in a football academy for girls? Are there government officials in your area who care about girls, who care about gender equality? Are there NGOs who want to get involved? Are there any other foundations who might be able to sponsor part of the academy? Start using social media to promote your idea. So what are possible challenges for success? Like you have to check if the culture or the family background of your girls, of the girls who will play in the academy or who will possibly play in the academy, are supporting. If not, you might face a lot of challenges. So if the kids come from backgrounds where nobody cares about them anyway, it's obviously gonna be easier than if you have parents who always hope that whatever you do, you will pay for their kids for the rest of their lives. So make sure expectations are set right in place. The sixth point is there a supportive infrastructure? Which means like, is there a road system? Can you even reach other villages to have matches there? What about the transportation system? Do you have a car? Do you have a bus? Will it be possible to reach other villages with a bus, or is the area constantly flooded because of heavy rain? So make sure there is a transportation system in place which you can use. So on your checklist would be, how will you overcome the challenges? So make sure you think about that beforehand so you will not be surprised later on. So I want to talk a little bit about long-term strategy. What is your long-term strategy and why do you need one? You cannot just start an academy and give these kids hope and then after half a year you stop doing it because you lose interest in it. So you have to have a committed, passionate heart and vision for this program. It's not a project because projects tend to be just for like some months and then they stop. You need to have a clear program. You need to have a clear strategy in mind. So what does that mean? You need to have a clear strategy for education. You should provide a value-based homeschool program. What does it mean, value-based? Value means that you care about the character of these girls. You don't just teach them something. You want to help them to become human beings with a great character. You want to help them to later on become leaders in their community, that they can be examples for other girls. For this reason, you need to have a value-based homeschool program. You need to have everything value-based. You can use the formal school education system if there is one in place. But if you have kids from orphanages or you have kids from slums, they might never have been in a school system. So you might have to start as if they would be in preschool. So you better start using individualized classes, additional classes to help them to even get to the point of they are going to be able to be in a formal school system. But maybe that's not even necessary. Maybe it's even better if you help them to get the life skills they need to survive later on in their life. So, but the second point would be that you help them to strengthen their character. Counseling will be needed to help the kids to overcome past traumatic experiences caused by abuse or abandonment. You help them to strengthen their self-worth, their identity, their confidence, and to help them have respectful behavior. This is all possible if the staff who's taking care of these girls can be a good example for the girls. They'll learn by seeing and doing. You can preach to them whatever you want. If you don't do it yourself, it's not going to work. The kids will watch you and they will do what they see you doing. So the third point would be life skills coaching. Set up income generating programs, like set up small scale business units and mentor the girls in running these units so they can learn how to make money, how to become independent later on in their life. How you can do that, I'll explain in another video. The fourth point would be mental training. These kids often have had so much trauma that they are fearful they are not brave to do things which other kids are brave to do. Or they do things in a very different way, which is not very good to do. Mental training means you help them overcoming fear. You teach them communication skills, public speaking, so they are brave to speak in front of other people. So you help them by doing leadership training, etc. So lots of things you can help these kids in overcoming their fear and to be able to communicate well with other people in different communities. And last but not least is high quality football coaching. If you start an academy, you don't want these kids just to come to practice and play around a little bit. You have to have great coaches who give their very best for these kids so they can become the very best possible player they can be. And you make sure every day when you are a coach and when you are on the page that you are there on time and you have prepared your coaching class or your training well. The kids will watch you. So if you prepare well, you are on time, the kids will learn from you, and there's a high possibility that they will start having a more disciplined life than before. Preparing female talents for the professional women football league and the national teams means that you give your very best to help these kids who have talent to become the best players possible. So you remember, you always dream big, but start step by step. I hope this video has helped you to think about some first steps which you can do, which you can go to help the girls in your environment around you to get new hopes that somebody actually cares about them and wants to help them to become better football players, better human beings, have a strengthened character, and be passionate about what they're doing. See you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.